Hello everyone, this is SyntaxError and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, it's going to be another coding tutorial video thing. And the item that we are going to be coding today is a multi-break pickaxe. So if we go ahead and do slash give ourselves a multi pickaxe, you can actually see that it's a diamond pick and it has custom lore, custom name. And the function of this pickaxe is basically to break stone in a 3x3 area. So, for example, if we go ahead and pick down like stone, you can actually see that it will break 3x3 area. That if the block is stone, it will break the stone. You're doing this, and it will also switch depending on which side we are facing. For example, face this side will break these 9 blocks. However, if you are facing up, it will break a different set of 9 blocks. So let's get straight into the coding then. Alright, for the coding part, we are back in our custom items plugin, which we've been doing for the past few episodes. So it's going to be a continuous. First thing that we're going to want to do is we are going to create the item first. Go into our item manager class and create our item stack first. We're going to do public static item stack and we're going to call it multi-break pickaxe with our semicolon. Then we can go all the way down. Then we can create our how our item will look like. So private static void create multi-break pickaxe with our brackets and curly brackets. Then item stack item goes to new item stack. Wrong spelling. And in the bracket, we can put the material, which we will put it as a diamond pickaxe. And that put its amount as 1. We're gonna put our semicolon. Then we're gonna get the item meta now. So item meta equals to item dot get item meta. Semicolon. Then meta dot set display name, and inside the brackets we're gonna have our speech marks. And we are gonna copy and paste a color code down. I'm gonna change the 9 to 6 to make it look bold in color. We're gonna call it multi-break pickaxe. Then we are going to do the lore now. So list angle bracket string. We're going to call it lore equals to new array list angle bracket normal bracket semicolon. Then we're going to do lore dot add. We're going to add the first line of lore. We'll paste the color code in, change the 9 to a 6 to make it look gold. We're going to call it legendary because yeah. And then the next one, we're going to put its ability name here. This episode will be slightly different when we are coding the function because we're going to be using the lore to compare and not the name, so that people can like change the name to whatever they want but still keep the item's function. So thank you for suggesting that in the comments. And we're going to change the 9 to a 7 to make it look gray. Actually, we're just going to do 6 first. For the item ability, we'll call it multi-break with our colon, semicolon, lore.add, put our speech marks again, this time change the 9 to a 7, and we are gonna say breaks stone in a 3x3 radius. I shouldn't be putting that 3x3 area. Then we can do meta.set lore and put lore inside. After that, we've done everything. We're going to do item.set item meta and put our meta inside, semicolon, and final step will be multi-break pickaxe equals to our item. So that's our items look created. We're going to go into our public static void init, which is initialization. Then we're going to type in create multi-break pickaxe, which is the one that we put here. So then now the item is technically done. We can move on to the commands. We're going to go ahead into our commands class, and all these we have been going through for the past few episodes. Whatever we coded was done in the first episode, which is the create a grappling hook. Link will be down in the description. So as usual, commands class will have an implements command executor and all of these lines of code here. So all that we have to do is we're going to enter if cmd.getName dot oh, that's the wrong capitalization. That's the wrong one as well. Dot getName dot equals the wrong one. Ignore case, and inside our brackets we're gonna put our speech marks. Give multi-break pickaxe, and we're gonna put our curly brackets and put in player, which is the sender of the command through this line. Code player.getInventory.add item, and we're gonna call the item not call the item, we're gonna get the item manager, which is our item manager class, the one that we create the items in, dot multi-break pickaxe. Then we're gonna put our semicolon. So that's that done. Now we have to head back into our main class and type in this dot get command. And in our speech marks, we have to type back whatever that's wrong. We have to type back whatever we type over here, which in this case is give multi-break pickaxe. We're gonna go ahead and type in the exact same ones, multi-break pickaxe, and then we're gonna do dot set executor, and in the bracket we're gonna put new commands bracket. And the commands is basically whatever our commands class is named. Yeah, the commands class is named. Then now we can go into our plugin.yml, list our command, and we can put it as give multi-break pickaxe. It has to be the same as whatever we put in here as well. Just take note of that. Put our colon, description, colon again, gives a multi-break pickaxe to the player, and in its usage we're just going to put slash angle bracket command angle bracket. That's basically all the commands done, and now we can go ahead to the function of the item. For the function of the item, we're going to do something like what we did for the machine gun bow, and we're going to create a new class because it's going to be quite lengthy and it might get a bit confusing if we do it together with the other items. We're just going to call this multi-break pickaxe event. Enter that, and we have to remember every time we create an events class, we have to put in implements listener. Then we're going to go here and do at event. No, we're not going to do that first. We're going to create a variable first. So we're just going to call it block face, and the reason why we are creating a block face variable is because we want to get where the player is mining the block from. So for example, if the player is mining from the top, we want the few blocks that's next to the block to break. However, if he's mining from the right, we want a different set of blocks to break. Yeah, so hopefully that was clear. Not that good at explaining, so we're just going to call it block face and name it block face, close to null for the time being. Then we're going to do at event handler, do public void on click, and put a player interact event. Call it event. We are going to put our curly brackets, and then what we're going to type here is that if our event dot get action dot equals to action dot left click block, which means that whenever a player left clicks a block, which technically also means whenever a player starts hitting a block to break the block, we're going to put the curly brackets again, And we're gonna call our variable and set it as event.getBlockFace, which means whatever face the player clicked on or is breaking the block from. Well, it's not really breaking the block yet, but wherever he clicked on, whichever face he clicked on. Next thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna create our another event handler, and this time we're gonna put public void on break. So, and in the brackets we're gonna put block break event. And put event here, and we're gonna import block break event. So this class will be called whenever the player breaks a block. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna create block import block. Oh, mouse is everywhere. Block equals to event.getBlock. And the second thing that we're gonna want to do is we're gonna type in if our player, so event.getPlayer, and we want to compare whether the item that he is holding has the specific lore of multi-break. It's the name of the item's ability. So event.getPlayer.getInventory .getItem in main hand .getItem meta .getLore. I know it's very long. Just dot contains, and we're gonna put our bracket and our speech marks. We're gonna go here and copy and paste this line here and paste it inside. So this time, instead of doing like what we did before and comparing the display name, this one actually gets the lore. So it means that the player can change the name of the item and still get the same function done, rather than not having to change the name. Yeah. So the next thing we're gonna do is if our block face, we're gonna run the functions that we're gonna discuss through the functions that whenever the player is breaking the block from the top or from the bottom. That's gonna be first. Then we are gonna do for the other sides of the block. So if block face equals to block face, that's the wrong spelling, block face dot up, which is the up side of the block, and then we're going to put these, which means or if our block face dot equals to block face dot down, which is the bottom side of the block, then if they are breaking the block from the upside or from the bottom side, we are going to do quite a lot of variables, so just stay with me. Block 1 equals to block, which is basically the block that got broken, dot get relative, and over here we're going to put block face dot east. What this line of code means is basically it will set block 1 to the block that is to the east of the block that got broken. That's a lot of these. Should probably get an A star for alliteration, but never mind. Then the second one we're gonna do block 2 equals to block dot get relative, and we're gonna put west, so block face dot west. There we go. Then for the next one, we're gonna do north and south. That's a lot of codes. Block 3 equals to block dot get relative block face dot north, and block 4 equals to block dot get relative block face dot, I put north or south, but okay, south. All right, then block. Oh, okay. Thank you, AI, for helping me a bit out. So block dot get relative block face. This time we're gonna put all four of them, which is southeast, southwest, northwest, and northeast. I'm bad at my directions. I get left and right mixed up all of the time. So I don't know how I'm supposed to keep up with these things. That's the wrong one. Southwest. Next one we're gonna. I'm getting lazy of typing. I'm just gonna copy and paste everything. I copy and paste the wrong place. Never mind. We're gonna change this to southeast. And then we're just gonna paste another few more. Change this to 7. Change this to 8. And change this to northwest. Northwest, and finally northeast. Okay. So that's out of the way. Now we are going to check if the block is stone or not. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna type one line of one set of codes, and we're just gonna copy and paste that. So if block 1 dot get type dot equals to material dot stone, then we're gonna put our curly brackets, import the material, and then we are going to set the block 1 dot set type. We're gonna set it to material dot error, which means that we just want it to disappear. Then we're gonna compare if the pickaxe that the player is holding has silk touch or not. So if event dot get player dot get inventory dot get item in main hand dot get item meta dot has enchant, that's a lot of things. In the bracket we're gonna put has enchantment silk touch, and if he does, we are going to do block dot get world dot drop item naturally block 1 dot get location, which means that we want to drop the item, we want to drop a piece of stone where the block 1 was at. Yeah, and then over here we're gonna put new item stack, and it's material as stone, and we're just gonna import item stack, put our semicolon, and then else, which means that if the player's pickaxe does not have silk touch on it, it's going to drop cobblestone. So block dot get world dot drop item naturally block 1, that's the wrong one, block 1 dot get location, comma new item stack, that's okay, that's the correct one, material dot cobblestone. There we go. All right, then we can put our semicolon. So that's done. Okay, so the next step would be to copy and paste all these 8 times. So we're just gonna do a rough idea on how to copy and paste that and change the codes up slightly. And then we're gonna do a cut to go straight to after I finish copying and pasting everything. So first of all, we're gonna go select this this if statement here, and we're gonna enter and paste it down. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna change the block 1 to block 2 in the if. Then we are gonna change this block 2 dot set type. Block 1 dot set type to block 2 dot set type. Then we are gonna go here inside the drop item naturally. We're gonna change block 1 dot get location to block 2 dot get location, and the same thing we're gonna do that to our cobblestone line of code. That's basically how to iterate the code and copy and paste everything. I'm just gonna copy and paste it and change these parts for all 8 blocks for the remaining 6 blocks. So yeah, we're just gonna cut the video. Okay, so we've technically finished off everything. Not everything, but we've done all of that. The next thing, pretty simple, copy and paste again. We're just gonna select these and press enter and do that. However, we will need to change this part of the code. So now what we're going to do is we are going to write the function of the item whenever the player breaks the block from the east or from the west. Then we're going to change this to up because when we break it from the side, we want the block on top to disappear as well as the block below. So up and down. Over here, we can leave it as north and south. However, for this part, it's going to be slightly different. Instead of doing block, instead of doing block on all four of these, we're going to have to change this to block 1, block 1, and block 2, and block 2. So I'm just going to use an example here. We're going to get block 1 dot get relative and put north just to visualize things slightly better and hopefully clear up some confusions, I guess. We're going to use paint to illustrate whatever is happening in our code. So first of all, this would be our block that we broke. So we're just going to name it block, which is basically what we named it in our code. We're going to draw it 3D, so it's slightly easier to illustrate. Now we're going to draw like I don't know what this is called, but this will be on north. Let's just say it might be the other way around. I'm not too sure. So opposite of north would be south. Never eat slimy worms. Okay, so north, east, southwest. So what is happening in our code is basically because we cannot directly get this block over here, which we named block 5. We cannot directly get the block over here. So we'll need to go through a different path. So in this case, we will get this block over here first, which is block 1, because it's to the top of block, and we did get relative block face dot up, which is technically the block that is on top of the block we broke. So in this case, we can see that block 5, which is to our left, is to the north of block 1. So what we have to do to get block 5 is do block 1 dot get relative block face dot north in order to get our block 5. So hopefully that cleared up some doubts or confusions. I'm not a great explainer. So yeah, that's one of them. Now we have to change this all to north and south and north and south. Okay, so that's done. Basically, the last thing that we have to do is we're going to have to copy and paste the entire piece of code again and paste it at the bottom. So paste it back again, and this time we are going to check if our player starts mining from the north side or the player starts mining from the south side. We are going to get the same up and down, but instead of north and south, we're going to do east and west. And over here, the same thing. Instead of getting north and south, we're going to get east. And we're just going to rotate east, west. Then east, west. That's the wrong one. Okay. So basically, that's the function done. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. So with that, all we have to do is go back to our main class, register the event. So we're gonna do this dot get server dot get plugin manager dot register events new. We're gonna type in the class name of our events class, which is Multibreak Pickaxe event, comma this. So with that all done, we just need to run the code, and I'll see you in the test server then. Okay, we are back in the test server, so if we go ahead and run the command give ourselves the multi-breaking pickaxe, it'll give us the pickaxe together with all the custom lore. If we go ahead and dig down, you can see that it will stone change depending on the direction we are facing. So that's that. That's it for today's video, I guess. So if you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like and subscribe. It will be greatly appreciated. And if you want any other plugins or tutorials to be done in the future, feel free to leave a comment down below. And with that all said, thank you all for watching. I'll see you when I see you in the next video. Bye!